All right, guys, we are back here on Shadow Darkness. This is episode number 66. If you guys tuned in last week, I was not here. I took a little vacation, so that was awesome. But back, and now Cash is actually out of town this week and next week, so he's taking a little time with his family. So excited for him, and hope they have a great time. But a couple housekeeping items before we get into our episode here. Obviously, I'm Mitch Benner, your host, and today we have our guest, Taylor Doucette, who we will introduce and get into his story here in a short second. But I just wanted to take a quick minute to plug the Love Shack Mocktail Bar. It's where we're recording our podcast. The owner's been gracious enough to share some space down here. So if you guys have not been down here, it's 120 East 4th Street. This place is awesome. It's a hub for sobriety. It's a really safe place to come and just be and hang out, and there's like-minded people. So if you guys haven't come, check it out. They have great mocktails, great food, and tons of space. So the Love Shack Mocktail Bar, 120 East 4th Street. And also just want to remind you guys, too, that Cash, Elliot, and I are also in the real estate sector as well. Everything that we do in real estate comes back and funds into this podcast. So if you guys have any real estate, roofing needs, video needs, please let us know as we are trying to serve our community in those spaces as well. So with all of that, we are going to get into our guest story. So I have the pleasure of introducing my friend Taylor Doucette.
Yeah.
How are you today?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good, dude.
Good.
We were talking a little bit before we started rolling, so I'm super excited to hear your story, man.
Yeah, me too. We've had like really good conversations
I
before
agree.
this is even rolling.
Yeah.
I don't know if it gets edited in there, but like before we even kick this off, like just super genuine conversation.
Awesome, dude. I'm excited. So we'll start. We'll just jump right into it, dude. And my first question is just, who are you? Where are you from? Give us a little bit of background.
Yeah. So my name's Taylor, obviously, Taylor Doucet, and I'm from Colorado originally. I was born in Denver. Okay. So I was raised, I was born in like downtown Denver, like 5 Points area. And I was there until I was probably about like 3 or 4. So not really in my memory. But after that, I moved to Commerce City. And that's where I went to like elementary and middle school. And then we moved to Fort Lupton and stayed there for a very short hot minute. But I stayed there going to high school after we moved back to Brighton for like, that's where my family still lives. Yeah, Brighton.
That's crazy. So you went to school in Fort Lupton, but lived in Brighton?
Yeah, they're about 10 miles apart. So not terrible. Yeah, not terrible. It seems like Fort Lupton would be like on the outskirts. Yeah, but it's just like,
exactly.
It's just like a little Brighton.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah.
And parents, you grew up with parents, brothers, sisters?
Yeah, so I have one brother. His name's Chris. And my brother's a badass, right? My brother's super badass. He actually he lives in Chile right now.
Oh, okay.
And he teaches English down there in Chile. And his wife is Chilean, and she's also going to school and becoming a teacher as well. She's currently teaching. So that's super cool. My brother was also very different than I was growing up, but like that's cool. That's what I say. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
My parents were awesome. Growing up, sadly, my dad actually passed away last year.
Oh my God,
of cancer.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's all right. It's all right. I think he lived a good life.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a good dad. And my mom's, she's still trucking. She's a badass.
Good.
She is.
What was your dad's name?
Steve.
Steve.
Yep. My mom's name is Dawn.
Dawn.
Yep.
Cool, man. So good background.
I would say my parents definitely taught me some fantastic things like what to do.
Yeah.
Such as work ethic, determination, perseverance, like the grind mode in like life and culture. They also taught me some things what not to do. Yeah. Like the relationship was not healthy from the gate. So they taught me what an unhealthy relationship looked like. And I think human beings are obviously sponges at a young age, and you can either make that like super traumatic, or you can just be like, cool, there's some fantastic lessons in there that I won't replicate.
Yeah, do you remember there being like, today as you sit here like, oh my goch, that was so traumatic, or it's just like, I just don't think I'm gonna emulate my life that way?
A little bit of both. Yeah, a little bit of both. I don't mean this to be rude, but I really try not to look at anything in my life as poor me.
And I love that mentality. I think that's why you're so magnetic.
Thank you.
Person.
Thank you.
You know, and it's honestly, dude, it's something that people struggle with. Right?
Yeah.
I think it's just innate in us. So the fact that you have that right there in your forefront of your conscious is awesome. I love that.
That's probably one of the things I learned, because like the whole marriage was like, poor me. What are they not doing? They're not supporting me in this way. Blah, 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 blah. And I didn't just see that with my upbringing, or at least my parents, part of my upbringing, but I saw that everywhere in life. like everybody was always pointing fingers at what other person could do.
And in your mind, what's going on in your mind when you're seeing that happen?
Yeah. I don't want to be like that. So.
Why?
Yeah, because it doesn't work. It didn't work. Like, no matter how much you put the blame on the other person, they were never like, you know what? You're fucking right.
Yeah. I shouldn't have done that.
Never seen that shit. Yeah. Maybe once or twice, but that's a pretty big anomaly. So I was looking at what worked, and what I saw was like just fucking radical acceptance and extreme accountability. Yep. Like, that's the stuff.
How old would you say you were when you're starting to notice these things? Teenager?
No.
Like,
no. Like, those were all, like, during my teenage years, I did the exact same shit that I said that I didn't want to be.
Yeah.
All right. And that's probably why and where I ended up
right
where I did. So after you get everything taken from you and you don't have much, you take a real hardcore self-inventory. And around 23 to like 26 years old is when that light switch started to flip.
Flip for you.
Yep.
So let's go into your teen years, because really your early story is what it is, but really your teen years are what led you into kind of who you are today.
Yeah.
You know, so take me through that. Like, where did the kind of the friction start?
For sure. At a young age, obviously, I kind of gave you a little bit already, but like, it was mom or dad.
Yeah.
So I learned how to play the sides, the fields. My parents split up here and there for a year or two, got back together. Excuse me. Got back together purely for financial reasons.
Yeah.
They both ran their own businesses, which I thought was honorable. Like, my dad didn't miss a day of work. My mom ground until, like.
So they both had that insane work.
Yeah. Like, but that also left me at home a lot to my own devices, right?
Yeah.
So at a young age, like, it wasn't terrible. Like, people definitely had worse childhoods than me. Right. So I definitely don't want to paint this picture like, ooh,
yeah,
my parents didn't get along. Like, 90% of people out there are like, fucking me too.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
What do they do, right?
Yeah.
So that wasn't like, like the biggest, like, I would say, like, hindrance to why I ended up where I am. That was all my own choices.
Yeah.
And at a young age, I was talented. I would say I was talented. And that can be the biggest.
Did you know you were talented?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That's where the danger is. Yeah, exactly.
So I learned work ethic.
Yeah.
And I also learned that shit. Like, maybe I can just use my natural God-given talents to get me ahead in life.
Yeah, totally.
And not have to work hard. Because that doesn't always look as rewarding from like an inside perspective as people make it seem.
Totally.
And there's some toxicity to that, like hustle culture and grind culture.
Absolutely, man.
Like, that's like cool. Like, I get it. Like, you wake up at 3 a.m. and put banana peels on your face and then start your first meeting at 6. Like, I'm just making fun of like the social media influencer, right? like also like there's like a perfect day is like sleeping with my wife and just spending quality time with her and not having anything.
See, and that's the thing. Like, I try to look at my days the day before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, it's 8 o'clock at night. Kids are in bed. What do I got going on tomorrow? Mm-hmm. And then I just think about tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's something I force myself to do, but it helps so much, man.
It does.
It helps so much.
Inventory.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So at that young age, right, I found out I was talented. I got sponsored as a skateboarder. So I was a skater as a kid and a snowboarder, right? And so I got sponsored by like a local company at the age of 13. So I thought I was just hot shit.
Dude, what?
Yeah. I thought I was just hot shit, right? So I was like skating in comps, doing some stuff. I probably wasn't even as good. Like, I just had like a cool connection that like ended up giving me some free boards, trucks, wheels, bearings, all that good stuff.
That's crazy.
Photo shoots. Got in with like Untitled, which was like a cool skate team with Urella Beck. He was like a minister, and like I got to skate at like demos at Heaven Fest and cool things like that. So I thought I was the shit as a kid.
That's awesome, dude.
Thank you. Yeah. And then I got like free passes to do snowboarding and stuff like that, which was super cool.
That was my entire life, dude, from like 12 until I was 24.
I couldn't tell. Your adult style. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I saw you there. Like, when I saw you earlier, I was like, oh yeah, I think bro.
Dude, and it's like for 13 years dressed up as a real estate agent.
Yeah,
exactly, and I'm like, this is fucking horrible.
Yeah, I dressed up as a podcaster today. Just LARPing.
Dude, oh my God, I love it. I was like semi-sponsored by a local shop in snowboarding.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
So that's so sick.
Hell yeah.
Dude. I love that. So obviously you're traveling around
doing all that
things.
stuff, right?
Yeah,
and so like no job, right? No job. So like I was like a skate bum at this park, doing as best as I could just to get really good at skateboarding, and then that just led to like a mentality that, in my opinion, was definitely a early intervention point in a bad way.
Yeah,
in a bad way. So lots of weed, and that was like the introduction, right? Selling weed at the skate park was just like my thing. And I went to a high school where there was probably not a ton of like drugs. And like, I was just a skater kid. There wasn't a lot of skaters, right? I tried to create a trend at the beginning, but people eventually learned that falling on your hips a lot is not as fun as it looked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a painful sport.
It is. And so then I kind of became like a little bit like of an anomaly at the high school. So skater kid selling, I had wheat. Like if you needed something, I could probably find it for you. Good middleman. That led me to just a lifestyle of not wanting to be a middleman, right? So at a young age, I got in a relationship, this is probably the crux of like where my life was at a fork in the road. And I got in a relationship with a girl, and like that's when things started to spiral. Not because of her, just because of my choices. And like, you know, bad influences are a real damn thing now. I'm not going to just say that that didn't play a huge role. And so her whole family was involved in some, you know, I would say like drugs, right? And so I was able to I got into a world of like cocaine and pills and all that kind of stuff. And it wasn't just that family that introduced me to that. It was just like, as like the snowball effect or the snowball continued to roll down the hill, like I was just gravitating.
And dude, in that world too, it's crazy because I would guess that things are justified.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like you have, and how old are you at this point in time?
18, 19.
Yeah. So you're young, dude. Like, I mean, you're a kid, you know, and you're looking at this as like, and we also have to think like this is early 2000, like mid 2000s.
Yeah. 2012 is when I graduated high school.
Bro, like it's such a crazy environment.
Yep.
Like skating culture and snowboarding culture and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I totally understand how that can happen, dude. And I'm not blaming anybody for the choices that I made, but when I started drinking, it became justifiable with everybody in my life.
Yeah.
And people that I respected, right? They started to do it. And I'm like, oh, they're doing it. And then they started to do it in excess, you know, and I'm seeing that. I'm like, oh, that's normal too. And then I realized that I'm just dealing with my problems.
Yeah.
And, you know, all that.
Yeah.
But, dude, that's wild. So keep going, I guess. Like, you get involved with this gal.
Get involved with selling a lot of cocaine.
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah.
Right. And when that comes into the lifestyle, set of guns or protection or some kind of mentality of violence, right?
Did you ever think that, like, I shouldn't be doing this?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
All the time. You're just like, I fucking.
Just like a muscle, right?
Dude.
Imagine doing bicep curls for the first time, having never done them, right? Or maybe back in the day you did it, and then you just take a huge, long decade hiatus, and you come back and you're like, dang, this is hard, right? Like bicep curls weren't hard back then. Same with the conscience. Like the less I exercised my use of my own conscience, the more fleeting of a voice in the background it sounded like versus the actual shoulder, like volume that I needed to hear.
Totally. And that, dude, that's crazy. I mean, I think you should clip that because that's really good.
Thank you.
It just kind of makes my brain think. So yeah, dude, so you're making those choices and I don't know, just keep going with the story.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So like before prison, like there wasn't a lot, like that's not like the cool part of my story.
Yeah.
Like I got led there because I was just I did not think about tomorrow. Yeah. Right. Not thinking about tomorrow. I ended up graduating high school. I never walked because at that time I was actually homeless during the time of my graduation. But like when I say homeless, I wasn't like living on the street. Like I was just couch surfing, saving enough money to get an ounce to be able to make a little bit of profit and then push from there. And I actually did a really good job. Like when I was like backed up in a corner, I was like, oh shit, right? This is it. So I got an apartment, got my first apartment in Brighton and started living on my own. And I had enough credits to graduate. I just didn't show up because I didn't really have a ride to get there at the time. I was just kind of like on that hustle.
Yeah.
And, so, you know, they probably called my name and I wasn't walking, and I bet you what was going through everybody's head was like, yep.
We know where he is.
This motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's right. Like this motherfucker was out there just doing like the worst. And
he's like, guys, I already got like 30 G's in my bank account. You guys are graduating.
Actually did.
Yeah.
And so I started making some good money, and I like ended up buying like a Mercedes Benz outright, full cash, and I just started living that super fast lifestyle. And this is 2012 from May. Whatever date it was I graduated, probably like just 19th, 17th, 20th, whatever, like just they're pretty. And then all the way to September 24th was the day that I got arrested.
Jeez.
September 24th. So in that time, really went hard in the drug dealing, did a lot, had a decent job as like a cover, right? And purchased a Mercedes, purchased an Audi, was just living a super duper fast lifestyle. Going to the club, faded, just drinking and driving, messed up, like on pills or whatever the heck. I remember like just like downing a bottle of absinthe and just going for a cruise one night. And like, I ran from the cops. I mean, I was in my Mercedes. It was supercharged and my buddy was in my Audi. And I remember we were just cooking down like I-25, going like 120. And I seen the cherries pop on behind me. But by the time they even like got up to speed, like we were gone. Yeah, we were gone.
Been there.
So
crazy,
just a crazy lifestyle, right?
So,
And I ended up making one of the worst choices of my life on September 24th. And like I really am conscious of not saying that it was a mistake or an accident, because I'm doing good right now, but like I haven't always done good to people. Like I feel like I bring a lot of value to people's lives, but at one point, like especially this decision, this intentional choice that I make, like hurt not just the individual, but like a lot of people around. And so September 24th, me and another individual were arguing over $100. $100. And the argument ended up escalating to the point where he threatened my girlfriend at the time, who I thought I was going to get married to. Right. So my fiance, like this person that like I envisioned the rest of my life with. And he was like, this is where she works. This is what she's driving. Come correct her else, basically. So I snapped. I picked up all my guns and I drove across 2 counties to go to this individual's house. And, you know, I don't say this stuff to glorify that day, but I give some details because on the back end of it, we'll bookmark another spot, but it kind of comes back into play. Like, I want you guys to see the gravity of the situation, because what actually happens at the end of the story, it makes it worth, you know, at least something. Not it, but it makes it worth something. So I drive over to the individual's house that day and I shoot him 5 times with the 12 gauge.
Jesus.
Yep. My 12 gauge is clogged and I pull out the 38 on my hip and I fire all the rounds there. And he ended up getting hit 3 more times after the 12 gauge with a 38 hollow points. And, you know, so much is going on. It's noon, broad daylight in a neighborhood. And it's just chaos. And like ensuing in that moment was like, just like, get the heck out of here. And then I didn't realize, like, when I was driving away, like one of my best friends from high school was standing right behind him and also got shot. And he's dragging that individual out the driveway, right? And we're taking off with the cars because my lady also showed up. That's how he got outside, was she baited him outside. And we drove off. And just a crazy ass day. Yeah, crazy ass day. Later that night, I ended up pulling out of my apartment complex. They didn't know exactly where I lived, but my headlights weren't on. And I got pulled over. And I remember when I got pulled over, I tried to pull the gun. I had like a little magnetic case on the side of my seat. And I tried to pull the gun because I was just going to go hard or go home and die today. I had a fast car. I could get away. I'd crash, whatever. Like, I'm not going to prison, right? There's a guardian angel in my passenger seat. And I just keep them anonymous, but they put their hand on the gun and they said, remember, you got pulled over because you didn't have your headlights on. Like, you don't know what they know. I was like, okay. I was like, shoot. So holstered the gun, gave him my ID. 5 minutes later, SWATs, vehicles, vans, cops surrounding me. At that point, I wasn't trying to like I was like, okay, cool. Yep. I had my opportunity. I chose not to make that stupid choice. Thank God.
Thank God. Yeah.
Right. And got arrested. So
Jeez.
coming to county jail looking like a Justin Bieber ass motherfucker, right? I had like a longer skater type of hairstyle, and I was just like in maximum security, 19 years old, 120 pounds, soaking wet. Like, nobody really fucked with me though, because I probably had like a really crazy look on my eyes, right? Not saying I was like a crazy person. Like, I probably would have got my ass beat just like anybody else. Like, I just went through all that.
Yeah,
and you
for
can
real.
you
Like,
can
that's
tangible.
Jesus.
It's palpable, right?
Can't even imagine, dude.
So I'm all greasy walking into this county jail, like after like probably, you know, like it's a long process to get back in. And when I got in there, it was interesting. Like, the feeling I had was interesting. It was like a kind of a peace, not because of what I did, not because I was proud of anything, but it was like, there's nothing that I can change in this moment. So I have to accept it.
Do you think that maybe you realized that like you didn't have to work in that moment?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
In your mind, and like figure out a way to survive and
Yeah.
with it, you know, it's like, all right,
I mean, I did, But like
Well, yeah.
for a small moment
Right.
there was that sense.
Yes.
I was just like, what's next?
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like, can you guys, what's going through your head?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, 19 years old, just.
I didn't know what the criminal justice system was like, so I thought a bond meant I could just get out. Like, oops, I messed up. Like, slap on the hand. Like, and then I called my mom and I was like, she was like, "What's your bond at?" And I was like, $500,000. And she's like, "Sucks to be you." Shit. Right?
That's crazy.
And then I was like, damn, like this is real. And then I learned how bond worked, and then people started educating me on like the severity of what I've just done and what's probably going to happen. And I was like, wow, fuck.
Like, you're gonna be here for a
On the
while.
street, I was like 5-6 years, shoot somebody, whatever, no big deal, right?
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
No.
Yeah. So I get in there. I see my public defender for the first time, and his deal is 106 years stipulated. That's what they said. He said, your first deal, 106 years. And I kind of just was like this, like when he said that. And I didn't really hear anything else he said. And I walked back into the unit, and I was just like, I am still talented, and I am going to be the best. And then I like filled in the blank, because the only thing available to me was a knucklehead. I was like, I'm going to be the best knucklehead I can be. And I was looking for something in there. I was hungry for some kind of purpose, some kind of community.
Personality doesn't go away.
Some kind of service. Exactly. And that's the scary part,
Yeah.
right? When you put people that are like, you know, like have that, like the sense of like wanting to do something, and you're in the wrong lane, that's a scary individual. When you can bring that person to the right lane, like that is an unstoppable force.
Exactly.
As an unstoppable force.
Yeah.
That's the work I'm in right now, is like finding those people. Like if you were like half-assed and lukewarm in bad guy shit, you're probably gonna be half-assed and lukewarm in good guy stuff, right?
Yep.
So fuck you, right? Not fuck you, but like I'm not that, maybe not the type of team for you.
Dude, and that's so true, man. Like, that's like our mission statement, right? Shatter the stigma, own your truth, and find your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And it's taking that destruction in your life and turning it into something valuable.
Yep.
That you can hand other people, that's going to impact their life in a positive way.
Exactly.
You know, and that's why I tell people, I'm like, the deeper that your shit is, the more opportunity that you have to inspire humanity.
Yep.
You know, and so I was like, but that transition, dude, is like, it's brutal.
It is. And here I am sitting in county jail with a 106-year sentence hanging over my head. And there's people just all around me, and they're like, they're just teaching me the ways.
All the while, you're just not accepting this as an answer.
No, I have fully
Accepting it.
accepted this as the answer. And that's what was scary. Because I was like, cool, my life's over. I'm fucking here.
Yeah, dude.
I'm going to do this to the best of my ability. And that sucked. Because I was good at it. I was good at being a knucklehead. In county jail, at least. I learned quickly, I would say. I've gotten a lot of fights.
Yeah.
Won a lot of them. Lost some of them. Didn't give a shit. I just liked being violent. I just liked showing people that I was with the shits.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, I was not very big. Right?
Yeah.
But I had a little bit of heart.
Yeah.
And that's what counted. So I ended up actually like kind of like gaining a certain amount of direction that I could tell people. And I ended up getting administratively segregated while I was in county jail after like 3 months of being inside the facility. And like by that time, my lawyer or public defender, Ryan, had come back and been like, okay, cool. The next deal, 48 stipulated. And I was still like, whatever. Same thing as 106 years of mine right now.
Yeah, I'm going to be 70 years
Yeah,
old.
I was like, cool.
Here.
And there's actually other pieces of the case that I don't quite always mention, that they offered me 5 to 10 years if I would have, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and I told them, no, I'm good.
I know you're
And I thought that was the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. Like I stood on business, right? And I don't regret that decision, because that's the same blaming shit like that subconsciously was here, right? So like
Yeah, dude, and actually, I know what you're talking about, and the listener might not. But dude, in that too, like you, like
I have an opportunity to get off and put all
Exactly,
the blame
dude.
on somebody else
Totally.
because I was a young white kid.
Totally.
And they didn't want to see a young
but
white
you
kid.
chose accountability, or you chose not to do the thing that.
I chose what I thought everybody else would think was cool.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
It sounds honorable when you said that, and I was like, yeah, I can't really accept that.
Yeah, but then as soon as I said
It wasn't
to
quite
him,
as
I'm like,
honorable in
yeah,
the moment, right? I was like, I want to be a badass in this lifestyle, and I'm not going to be a rat.
Yeah.
Right? So therefore, I'm going to do this. And when I go back in there and let motherfuckers know that I didn't tell for
it's
5 to
gonna
10 offered
up
to
your
me,
notoriety.
sure, or something, I thought it would. And it probably, like, you know,
Maybe.
yeah, who knows, right? All the people in that room in the moment of opinions that I thought would matter for the rest of my life, I never saw again in the next 5 months. So I wouldn't say I'd change that. I still think that that's an honorable thing to accept what life has given you.
I agree with you in the sense of like, I'm here, I'm going to do this. Like, totally.
I did
I
that
think
thing.
you flip that coin and that whole process is so different.
Then I'd just be like looking over, like I'd just be like I would just vibrate at a lower frequency for the rest of my life if I had made that choice.
Yeah, totally. That makes a lot of sense.
Yep. And so that happened, and I ended up getting ad-segged for over a year in county jail. So I'm in this room where I'm upstairs with all it's a county jail, so it's not like super big dogs. But there's some motherfuckers in there that now are doing like a life sentence inside prison who have a lot of rank, who were kind of teaching me some ropes, talking to me under the door, teaching me the roles and just things of what to do and not to do, because obviously they seen I was on that trajectory that they're on, and like what the craziest thing was, like AdSeg is kind of like the peak, like you've made it, like
That's so crazy.
that's so crazy. And it was the biggest misconstruction in my own head, but I thought like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm already AdSeg, I'm doing good.
I mean, and that's the thing, dude. Like on 19 years old, you have to identify with that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how else are you going to keep yourself safe?
That's the lie I told myself.
Yeah. I mean, that's the line that I think that everybody would tell themselves in that situation.
Yeah. Standing on your own 2 feet is so freaking honorable.
Yeah.
Joining whatever, a group of people, getting a job, joining a team. It's not just prison, right? It's the mentality that like, I need this to make me better.
Absolutely.
When Taylor can't just stand on his own 2 feet, because Taylor's good enough as is. But like, people don't teach that at a young age. And you don't learn that at a young age. And I don't blame anybody for not teaching me that, because they fucking didn't get it taught to them.
Well, that's the thing, dude. Like, you want to release resentments for people in your life, like go into their story.
Exactly.
Tell yourself their story. And
imagine if you could see fucking thought clouds above people's head when you walk around here.
like a comic book.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be
Like
so
you
helpful.
would change the way you like, somebody bumps you in the shoulder, their thought cloud, you look
dude.
around, I just lost my grandma.
Yeah.
Like, I just lost my dog. And like, I would probably like be like, hey motherfucker, watch where you're fucking going. I probably wouldn't do that nowadays. That's not me. But like, some people probably still would, right? And I didn't realize what they were going through, and that shoulder bump was not an intentional disrespect towards me. It was just like, they're
Just not paying attention.
like, that little example is, I wouldn't say silly, but like, if you could extract that into
But
like
that's
a bigger
so
landscape.
dude. And I learned that at a young age. I remember this pastor at our church came in and he was telling the story of a road rage incident. Well, he was trying to get to the hospital, and I can't remember the story exactly, but he somehow ended up communicating with this person. And it was that, like, they had just lost a family member and was like sobbing in the car and like couldn't drive normally. And, and it was just like, take that extra moment, to just ask a question.
Exactly. I've been embarrassed before because I just jumped to conclusions.
Oh my gosh, dude, totally. Yeah, I've seen my dad do that so many times.
Yeah, exactly.
And
It's
I've done it so
embarrassing.
many times, dude.
It's
Like,
embarrassing.
It is. I just did it to my daughter last night.
Yeah.
And I had to apologize to her. So, so dude, your story. So you're full blown knucklehead. Like, you're getting into it.
Yeah. At a young age, I only have like, so much. I don't want to like, I'm not no kingpin or nothing like crazy inside. I'm just in my own head. This is just from my state. Like, I'm, obviously not on the right path, and I get AdSegged. And then inside, while I was administratively segregated, I get sentenced. Right. So not only am I fighting my case in a county jail that's just terrible, right, full of politics. Actually, the county jail was way more political than my prison kind of was.
Was it?
To a certain extent, like just like little things popped up. It was much more live, and I think every county jail is kind of like that, because it's an amalgamation of just so many different types of personalities. Prison's a little bit more chill. People are trying to live. People are trying to do their own. I've seen crazier things inside prison, but like the constant like dual stress of politics was there, a little bit louder. So they offered me 16 to 28 years. That's my final deal. 16 to 28 years, and I get maxed out. And they told me that they're making an example of me.
Of course.
Yeah. So they said we don't appreciate violence inside of Weld County, so we're gonna max you up. And a lot of my family showed up. A lot of friends showed up. A lot of support, but a lot of friends with the victim also showed up. And I don't blame them, right? If I was them, I would also be equally, if not more, mad.
Yeah.
But things are what they are, and you can only do with what you can with your circle of influence. So when I got sentenced and I went into prison, I started I just had a more open mind, because I feel like I kind of even in the little bit of time that I had done, I learned a lot. Like, my eyes were open to a lot. Like, maybe what I thought was being the best knucklehead is not the only avenue. But when I got to prison, there's not a lot of other avenues. Therefore, chose the one I knew that was comfortable, that I already kind of put some work into, right? Like you see that with people in school. Man, I'm going to school for being a veterinarian, but I really don't want to. But I've already spent the last 2 years doing this, so I might as well finish out the next 2 years. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Right? Like, that was the mentality I was stuck in. Like, well, since I've already, fucked my life off this bad, might as well just do it up.
Yeah.
Since somebody stole $100 from me, I might as well give them the rest of my bank account. That's how silly that is, right? So, that being the case, I started coming to a slow awakening that I didn't want that, but I wasn't quite mature enough to communicate that, like with my own actions.
Yeah.
So I get involved in that stuff, politics. I never get too heavy or too deep in it, but what I did do was I made a lot of good friends and created a ton of healthy relationships.
So actual good, healthy relationships.
Yeah. Just because people choose that lifestyle, I don't think that they're bad people.
I agree with you.
The same thing that we just spoke about, like that was all that was presented to them. They didn't have a lot of choices, at least in their own mind at that time.
Well, and you don't know what you don't know. Exactly. And I can have a lot of grace for that.
Yep.
But once you know it and you do nothing about it, that's where I'm like, yeah, fuck you.
Exactly. When you make the conscious choice and you know something's better, that's when I start to lose a little.
And there's obviously levels of humanity inside of that, right? Like, we're never going to do things 100% correctly.
Yep.
And it's like, I think if we slow down in those situations, slow down and explain our intentions to ourselves and to the people around us, that there can be grace inside of that too.
Yeah.
So, so you start to go through this transition. You start to surround yourself with these kinds of people. What starts to happen inside of those relationships?
Yeah, inside of those relationships, a few people pull me aside and they're like, "Man, you could do really well here, or you can also do really well for yourself."
Yeah.
And I had mentioned wanting to just kind of do me.
Was there, and this is just more of a personal question, is there a pretty peaceful, it's prison, right? So it's obviously not a great environment, but the people that haven't been there, like myself, we think about it as violent, I'm going to die, I'm going to get all this crazy shit's going to happen. But it sounds to me like there is actually rehabilitation processes inside of these walls and areas that you can go and find support and help. And is that true, or?
Depending on, I'm going to ask a real quick question. This is kind of like an intermission, just based on if we're going to do this a 2-parter, I can answer that well.
Okay.
If we're going to do this a 1-parter,
let's do it as a 2-parter.
Okay.
Because I like this. This is a cool story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Inside, I would say that there's a lot of good people who are just pointed in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And you can see that. You can see the humanity. But also, when you treat somebody like an animal,
they're going to be an animal.
And the justice system inside is not set up to rehabilitate people. It's set up to make people better criminals.
Yeah.
And I believe that wholeheartedly.
Is it kind of out of sight, out of mind for the general public, you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
When's the last time you drove by a prison?
It's been a while.
Because they put them on the outskirts of town. Yeah. Right? Maybe they do that to help fuel economies for outskirt towns, but also they do that to keep it out of mind. Because if people start seeing oh, damn, there's human beings locked up in a gigantic city.
Well, it creates fear in communities, as
Yep.
And that's the thing. There's just so much ignorance around it.
Ignorance is the biggest thing, and that's why I say yes to every single podcast.
Yeah.
Right.
I love
not because I don't like Shadow Darkness is awesome. I listen to some of your shows. You guys do a really good job. I'm not saying I said yes because I wanted to say that, but my goal is to bring awareness to some of the messed up stuff out there that a lot of people are just okay with not knowing.
Thank you. And that's exactly what destigmatizing is, dude. It's and that's where we say okay, just because I have an addiction that caused me to light shit on fire, you're going to go put me in a corner.
Yeah.
And it's you're not showing up for your children. These are still we're all removing ourselves from reality in some way.
Yep.
And that's really what the crux of these problems is.
Yeah.
Is lack of education. And, we just focus on what we want.
Yeah.
And not how we can make the world a better place. So,
I agree. Selfish.
Yes.
But that's okay. That's okay. You need to be selfish for a part of your life. I do believe that your private victory must precede your public victory. But I also agree that people get stuck in a private victory of themselves, and then it turns into this not healthy thing.
So that's exactly, I learned this from a pastor, but it was so what I believe is we get delivered from whatever it is in our life to a place of freedom, right? So owning your stigma, finding who you are.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop there. It can't stop.
You have a responsibility now.
Exactly.
You have a responsibility now.
And you have to go even farther than that.
People think that's the end of the road.
Exactly, and that's not the end of the road.
End of the road is when you die.
Yes.
If not, you got to continue to keep pushing.
Yes.
You got to continue to keep giving back, if that's your goal.
Yeah.
Right?
And that doesn't have to look like starting a business or starting a podcast or doing this or becoming an addiction counselor.
It could look like smiling people on the street.
Help people with their kids when they need to go walk someone's dog. Like,
Even just be kind. Just like be kind in the world. Right?
Ask an extra question.
Kind doesn't mean like being a pushover or kiss ass or some kind of pussy that walks around just saying sorry to everybody. It looks like in my day-to-day life, I'm not just walking around miserable. Just and that's a vibration. That's quite literally like a thing that I can put out to people that I'm just next to in the grocery store. Like let's say I go to like Starbucks. I don't really go to Starbucks or some shit like that. Let's say I go to like somewhere else.
King Soopers.
King Soopers, there you go. King Soopers, and the lady's checking me out. Right. No, I mean, checking me out like the groceries, right? Not like checking me out.
Yeah, I got you.
And she's like, "Oh, did you find everything okay?" And like a lot of people's answer would just be like, "Look at their phone."
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, motherfucker, like give me some goddamn respect. And look at me in the motherfucking eyes when I ask you a question. Like that's a little intense. That's a prison coming at me, right? But like that's what I think.
I agree with you.
Right. And so when I do that, I would give people the common courtesy and lay out at least a little bit of red carpet to look at her in the eyes and be like, it was wonderful. I had a good time. Even though I didn't. Even though there's some jackass that bumped his car into mine. I don't give a fuck. That's not her problem.
Right.
She's just looking to be a nice person and a nice lady. I can reciprocate that at least, if not even level that up.
Dude, it's so you say that. This is so I haven't even said this before, but I truly enjoy going into places like that and leaving with putting a smile on someone's face.
Fuck yeah. And that's what that looks like.
Yeah.
That's what the journey is, in my opinion. And that's what I tried to do inside prison. And I feel like it's not just me, but I did separate myself from a few people to allow people to see my decisions as good for me versus bad for them.
Bro, talk about a crazy environment to make that choice.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
So
I was ostracized for a good amount of time.
I bet you were.
Not too bad though. Not too bad. I didn't do nothing crazy. Like, I was in the political realm of where I had at least a chance to be able to pull away from this amicably.
Okay.
And I made that choice knowing that my time was coming to a decision, or like the fork in the road was on its way.
Right.
And I needed either say yes or no. Right. And I really still wanted to say yes because I know I would have done a good job. But also my dad had cancer for the first time at that time. And so like I zoomed out. I give this analogy when I teach a class. Imagine from that wall to over there, like there's this funnel of water and it looks like a tube, but there's no glass or anything surrounding it. And that's life. And a lot of us spend life with our head in this tube of water like this, and it's loud, right? Imagine your head in a tube of water. There's so much going by. There's so much to pay attention to. You can't really see what's going on in the bigger picture. And you may need to go in that every once in a while to be able to get fix the little piece right there, or make the decision right there, or do the action that's required of you right there. But when you pull your head out and look at the bigger picture of life, like a lot of people don't do that. Yeah. Like they're so stuck in the day-to-day monotony that it's habitual.
So when you do that, what's your mental process? When you float out and you're looking at that whole tube of water, what's your mental process there?
This is fast forwarding a little bit, but in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, one of the books or classes that really changed the way, I wouldn't say it necessarily changed a life or my life, but I would. But not because it was like some book that fucking changed my life, right? Yeah, some woo type shit, right? It was more like, hey, check this way of thinking out.
Yeah.
Peep this shit, right?
It's
Here's some
fundamental idea.
Yep. And I was like, ooh, hell fucking yeah, right? So when I pull my head out of that tube, what it is habit 2 is beginning with the end in mind.
Yes, dude.
Beginning with the end in mind looks like looking at the bigger picture and having a vision instead of just acting.
But then you don't laser focus on that vision, right? You look at the whole thing, right? And now
you prioritize.
Like, here's this. Now we break it down backwards to daily habits.
And then habit 3 is just putting that in a priority list, right?
Yep. Then that's the thing. It's funny because we make this so I struggle. I'm having this epiphany in real estate right now, right? Where it's like the same thing. How can I sit here with Taylor and interview you on these levels and get so engaged in your life? And dude, I think what I'm missing in that real estate is this, like, I'm truly interested in your story, right? Like, I'm truly interested in what you have to say, the wisdom and things like that. And I think that I'm not taking that same mindset into my conversations with people in real estate.
Oh.
Right. And so my mind is focused on the end game of making a paycheck.
It's not bad.
right? It's not focused on how can I actually add value in here. And so we started doing this thing where it's like I'm recording and writing down new things that I'm learning about people.
Yeah, cool.
And it doesn't count in my checklist unless I learn something new.
Yeah.
And I record it.
Yep.
And so, it just opens up, dude, this like blossom of humanity, right? And it's like all of a sudden you start to see people for people and not as a closing, or a way forward or this selfish
number.
Yes, dude.
Anything like that. A lot of people do that.
And I'm such a fucking hypocrite because in psychology or in psychiatry, I'm looking at my psychiatrist like, fuck you, dude. You won't sit down and get to know me, but I'm not doing it on this other side of my life, right?
Ooh. You know, I don't know. Okay, so this is a harsh statement, but when I truly believe to the core of myself, life gives you exactly what you deserve.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's hard.
I agree.
Because some people are going through some things and like, man, why is this happening, right? And I don't know. Maybe there's some instances where that's not quite as like point A to point B, right? Not quite as a straight line as I just made it sound in a quote. But like I honestly believe that when I just started having genuine ass conversations with people, by being genuine
and vulnerable
and not worrying about the outcome,
right,
but just worrying that what I'm saying is honest, I get honest results. In life. If you have a higher power, I believe in God, so that's something that I believe.
I was just going to ask that, actually.
I believe that is given out, but I also believe that God created a universe that just kind of just naturally does that as well. Like people talk about like quantum physics and like all this. It's like they kind of say it in like a woo state in some like maybe like orthodox individuals in religion, right? I don't like to categorize myself as religious because it's very confined.
I don't think anybody in our age does, dude. We're seeing the writing on the wall.
Yeah. So I would love to say that my relationship with what I know that is my higher power, right? God is giving me exactly what I deserve. And everything in this earth is created to do exactly that. Be reciprocating. Therefore, when I am genuine, when I am honest, when I am authentic in such things as small as a smile or checking out at Safeway, then I receive that back tenfold in other areas of life. Maybe not even tenfold. That's not my purpose in doing it. I got to watch my intent, right? I'm not smiling at you in Safeway to be like, cool, I'm going to get a fucking car.
You know what? There are times, though, that I'm like, I need to fill up my bucket, right? And people fill up my bucket.
Yes.
And right? So it's like, if I can put a smile on that person's face, that's going to make me feel good. And so in a way, it is kind of a selfish intention, but at the same time, it's serving a good purpose. Right? It's happy for this person. It's happy for this. There's no destruction anywhere in that.
It's okay to be selfish.
I agree.
It's okay to be selfish. Yes. Like selfish is the word that I probably wouldn't use. It's okay to be fulfilled. Yeah. Do things. That's why I like the term private victory. It's okay to spend time in your private victory, which means working on yourself, which means doing things for yourself, which means gaining things for yourself. And a lot of people are like, oh, like the hustle grind mentality. It's like, I need to fucking go so hard that it all comes to me after the end of this destination that I've arrived at. Like that's a fallacy.
But then what happens when you arrive?
You never do.
Nothing, dude.
Nothing, like, you feel as empty as you did when you started. Yep.
So that's where I'm like asking those questions, like what fills my cup? What fills my soul, my heart? Dude, this is a crazy story, but I got to tell this. So upstairs, there's artists that put their art on the wall. And there's this one, we have our college friends, we had this thing, it was called Carlos. We used to move it. It was this picture, we'd hide it in each other's houses, and it was fucking weird.
That sounds awesome.
Right? So we'd find it, like, oh, brunch, and so we're all here for my birthday a month ago, and we lost Hot Carlos. And so Brent sees this picture of Carlos on the wall, and he's like, oh my God, I have to buy that. Hot Carlos has been reincarnated. Dude, I'm at the bar here yesterday or the day before, run into the artist, and I'm like, that was you? I'm like, dude, you have to see this picture. So, and I told her the whole story, and I was like, this is all my friends that play this Hot Carlos game. And it was a picture of all of us with her thing. So I connected them. They're both from Chicago. They grew up 15 minutes apart. Dude, that, out of everything that happened yesterday, that is what stuck out to me. That, because I could just tell how much life it brought to both of them, and that brought me life. And that's what I want, and it's like, that's what this podcast is about. Shattering the stigma is what it is. I think we do that just by saying it and by bringing it, but really where the magic in this is happening is from steps 2 to 3. Is helping people find a purpose. And that's...
My take on sobriety is different than a lot of people.
Explain.
If I offend people, I don't apologize.
You shouldn't.
Exactly. I don't believe sobriety is a goal. I believe it's a byproduct of being highly effective. Therefore, in my life, I understand my priorities, what's important to me, where I lie in my own life hierarchy, and sobriety is a byproduct because I don't need another substance to make me feel good if I'm doing what's right. Yeah. If I have a healthy relationship at home, which I do. Me and my wife, no matter what I'm coming home from, right? If I'm coming home from getting a car wash, which only took me 20 minutes, which is only 3 minutes away from my house, Michelle comes and greets me at the door, right? She stands up. She's excited to see me, right? That shit right there. Yeah, that's awesome. That is fucking awesome. I don't need to go drink alcohol on the weekends because I got that shit on a daily basis. Like I got whatever I need. And I love that. And when I go out and I go into society and I just feel confident in myself and somebody else is an asshole, I'm like, damn, that sucks. Like I'm not.
You feel sorry for them.
Yeah. I'm like, damn, they're missing something. And it's not like this every day, but boy, do I got to ground myself sometimes. And so when I say sobriety is not the goal, I'm not trying to be sober for sober's sake.
Dude, and let's add a little bit of like humanity in this because obviously we're fucked up creatures and we make tons of mistakes. Like, what do those conversations look like inside? You know, when you are battling with like, man, I really feel this. Yeah, this is hard on myself. This is my flesh, and I know that it's that, but it's so heavy, and I know that I should be doing this other thing.
My conversations aren't long with myself. And I think that's why they're effective.
That's probably good.
Because like when I've sat down with people and like did a really good job of weaving a story, right? Like fucking, like they didn't fucking hear half that shit. But when I told my homie, don't be a little fucking bitch, and fucking do better on a daily basis, they heard every word. And you know what? It's easy to remember.
Dude, and that's God, like the self-talk is, I love that. It's easy, it's simple. You know, and that's where I think we get tripped up, dude. You know, we start to create fears and, you know, things like that. So,
and we're addicted to comfort.
Oh, 100%.
And we're addicted to comfort in small situations, such as conversations. So we want people to make us feel good about the bad that we've done.
Hold on, say that again.
Okay, we're addicted to comfort, and we're especially addicted to comfort in small situations, such as a simple conversation.
Bro, okay. I want to highlight
Am I
this.
right?
Yes, you're absolutely right, because every fucking Thursday morning at 9 o'clock, I'm like, like, I'm fucking nervous. Right? And I'm like, I don't want to do this because, one, I don't know this person. I have to go do that. I'm not a morning. Like, it's constant.
Yeah.
And it's every fucking Thursday morning. You
know what helps me with that? Knowing that I am getting what I deserve. Therefore, if I've done all the little things prior to this meeting that I'm nervous about, it'll probably go well. Yeah. And if it doesn't, it wasn't supposed to, or I'm fucking up on the back end.
No. Dude, and this is something that we don't go to the church, but I learned this from a pastor. Because I was like, dude, I really want to make sure that what we're doing in this avenue is directed by our higher power. Yeah. Not us. You know, we want to be intentional. Right. Like, I want to make sure that this really serves. So how do I know if I'm out of alignment?
You'll know.
And dude, he gave me the best answer. He said, if you're out of alignment, you're going to start feeling the failure.
Dishonest.
You're going to start feeling responsibility for all the failures and all the things that are going wrong. Because that means you're celebrating the wins. You're taking the wins too much on yourself, and you're not giving them to your higher power.
Ooh, that's one thing I didn't even add in there.
And I was like, oh, damn. So it's like, if I'm out of alignment with my higher power, I start to really feel negative emotions around what we're doing.
So if we had a whiteboard here, I'd like to draw this. Like, we got off so much on a tangent.
That's not good, dude. I love it.
Check this out, right? So in 7 Habits, which I go back to as like a book that I use, but it's just because the terminology I use is easy to apply in almost every other aspect of my life, right? So 7 Habits differentiates or dichotomizes 2 different words: principles, values, right? Principles, objective; values, subjective. Principles, universal, timeless, self-evident, whether we believe in them or not. If you don't believe in gravity, you're not going to start floating away, right? If you don't believe in honesty, you can't just start telling lies and think it's honest, right? Yeah. Value systems are different. I can value the wrong thing that doesn't align with the principle. I can say I stand on business and I'm an honest individual, but if what I'm doing is dishonest in my life, my values are not aligning with my principles. Therefore, I am out of alignment, so my 2 lines look parallel to each other rather than one honest, truthful line. And Cameron Lundstrom, he's the individual that started NAS Recovery Solutions, which we haven't even touched on yet, right? He taught me this. He said that when you align your principles and when you align your values, there's this line, and he calls it truth or honesty. And I call that what you said, living in alignment, right? Cool. The more often that you cross that line, the more frequent that you cross that line, the higher your frequency, the higher you vibrate at a more honest, truthful, genuine frequency.
Yeah.
Or just going about life, understanding that whatever comes was deserved.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, I'm okay with. Right. And I'm not saying like just go about like in this like delusional state of mind. What I'm saying is like, if I'm nervous, either I didn't prepare enough or it's going to be fucking fine.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Or there's some other thing that's like, you know, and dude, I'm playing it out this morning. Like, what is it that I'm nervous about? And I'm intimidated by who I think you are.
Oh shit. I'm nobody.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, same with Kyle and I'm intimidated by some of these people. Right? Like, because I
feel that. That's a good thing, though. That means you're humble.
Dude, and
That's
it
cool.
also means that you have what I want. Right? And so it's like, I need to be around you.
Yeah.
Not only should I be, I need to be.
Out of everything you said, I don't want to come off as arrogant, but I didn't agree with anything until you said I need you, like, in my life, right around me. Like,
Well,
I think what you mean by me is, like, individuals that own shit.
Dude, and they know
Not housing and cars.
Right.
Like, they own themselves.
They know their path in life and their fucking energy lines up with it. And and it's all one, like you said, it's all one cohesive line.
That's why I disagree with a little bit of the grind culture, which I still do. I still talk like that, right? I'm like, hustle hard, let's go, wake up.
And we have
get
to
the
have
business.
an element of that.
You have to have an element of that, but that can be the sole driver.
So what do you think the most important principle in all of that is?
Alignment, honesty,
Balance.
being truth. Balance is good too. Yeah. But if I'm living in alignment, balance is a byproduct. If I'm living in alignment, sobriety is a byproduct, right?
Yeah.
That's why I said what I said. There's probably some people out there that are like, I don't agree with what Mr. Taylor said,
so
right?
Take that the other
Yeah.
way. If you're living out of alignment with what you believe, alcoholism, drug addictions, you know, it's and
I need something to fill that gap or void in myself that I've created.
fuck, man, that's really good. Honestly, bro, like your story's amazing.
Let me highlight some things just so like we're gonna bring them in
touch on.
for part 2.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. I love it.
So I spoke about like my younger age, my earliest time in prison. That is the lamest part of my story.
Exactly,
Right?
right?
'Cause
Like
that's all
I
the
always say, I'm
core
like, I
stuff.
want like the short version, but then we
Yeah.
end up going way too far into it.
So like just know that the individual that I hurt, like I eventually run into in life again.
Okay.
And life gives me an opportunity to make that right.
So I wanted to ask you if he survived.
He did.
Okay.
Yep.
And you did have the opportunity to come back and make that right.
I did. In person. And also I have the opportunity while still incarcerated to be able to bring a lot of people who are in the mentality of being stuck, right? Like the biggest thing that I saw is when I came to prison, I was looking for a few things. I was looking for mentorship. I was looking for some sort of accountability, and I was looking for some sort of community that was only offered to me in one realm. There's a few people who started a nonprofit organization. It's called Redemption Road Fitness Foundation that gave me those 3 lanes that I was looking for in a very, very healthy and practical application.
That's amazing.
And
I can't.
a life changer. It was a life changer, right? And then when I got to meet this person and do the right thing, it wasn't because of anything other than the alignment that I was living in and trying to just be as honest as I could with myself.
Dude. And right there, we're going to drop the mic. And we're going to come back with part 2. And I pronounced your name wrong. I
That's okay.
apologize. Taylor Doucet.
Doucet, yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're going to get Taylor back in here as soon as we can. So we'll get the back end of his episode recorded, not to you guys. But we just want to say thank you so much. I also want to give a quick shout out to somebody that sent us an email. And I don't want to get your name wrong, so I'm sorry. But I just wanted to shout out to Christian von Karlowitz. Dude, you sent us an email that really meant a lot. It's always hard to quantify the reach and the impact of things like this. We know that it is having a reach, but dude, your comment, your email really meant a lot to us, and that just gives us more fuel to keep going. So, Christian, thank you so much for reaching out and your positive words, man. We really appreciate it.
And you got a cool name, Christian von Karlowitz.
I know, dude.
Kind of rolls off the tongue. Sounds fancy. Sounds like a T-shirt brand. What are you wearing? Ben Karlowitz.
Ben Karlowitz. But I did friend request you on Facebook, man, so let's connect. But anyways, we love you guys. You're awesome. So the question book, we're kind of in a weird place with the question book because we have 2 episodes that we're trying to wrap up. So we do a question at the end, but we haven't wrapped up Kyle's episode yet.
Okay.
So we haven't got his question. So when we wrap your episode up, we'll have you read and answer a question and then write your own for our next guest.
Sweet.
So once we wrap these episodes up, we'll do that. But we're kind of in a weird place. So anyways, you guys are awesome. Stay sober. Reach out if you guys need anything. We'll see you next week.